The Truth Girls.
Hi, guys. Look, I know the lighting's really bad. You know when people say, I don't have time to go to the gym? Well, it's true. They probably don't really have time to go to the gym because I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to make time to go to the gym. And I went to the gym for 2 weeks, and the result was that I got really backlogged. And so I was doing paperwork all day for like 8 hours. So for that reason, plus the fact that my computer sounds like a vacuum cleaner, I couldn't make this video during the day. So please excuse the bad lighting. Okay, I'm gonna have to be really careful what I say here because I don't know if the government's listening, but I'm gonna have to use like kind of code, but I think you guys are gonna know what I'm talking about. Okay, you know what just happened in SANBERN ... You know where I'm going with this. So I was looking into this and I was wondering what really happened. So the guy, SYED, you know what I'm talking about? The guy, he worked at that place. And so there was this storyline that, you know, perhaps he went there to this party and got an argument with somebody and left and then decided to come back and go postal. But the level of preparation that he and his wife had, it showed that this couldn't have been some spontaneous decision. So then why would he do that? Did he have some kind of grievance from before? Or was it a TERR ... Or was it a FAL ... right? Okay, if it was TERR, you'd think that the guy would be really RADICAL. But he had been looking for a wife online and a woman who was really very, very religious. In that type of religion probably wouldn't be hanging around on a dating site. So you know that when he met his wife was about 3 years ago, they'd been married 2 years, that he couldn't have been that far right or whatever at that time, but something might have changed in between. Could have been maybe one of a couple of things. His brother says he was a bad person, not RADICAL. So that's what his brother-in-law says. And the guy had gone on a pilgrimage to SAUDI, you know, and then he came back. Maybe something happened to him while he was there. His brother says that he might have been brainwashed. I think this is very possible. Brainwashed, like religious brainwashing, could be, or it could be the other kind of brainwashing, as in the Derren Brown, MINDCONTROL kind of brainwashing, which is possible. I mean, something must have happened to him in between, because he goes from being a guy who's religious but kind of moderate to a guy who's doing this, and for what? He has a 6-month-old daughter, and he and his wife are so crazed that they go and do this and end up dying. But this can't just be because of some disgruntlement or some dispute at a party. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, according to Breitbart.com, the FBI, there's no other way I can say that without spelling it, so I hope that doesn't get me in trouble, has announced that the SANBERN ... events are officially an act of TERR. I had also confirmed that the female posted a pledge of allegiance to ISIS leader so-and-so to Facebook as the ATTACK was being carried out. So in the middle of doing this, she goes on Facebook and posts a pledge of allegiance to so-and-so. So clearly this is not about work. Now, that is so absolutely crazy. I mean, how crazy would you have to be to have a 6-month-old baby? Usually when you have a 6-month-old baby, your whole world revolves around the baby. Even if you were RADICAL. To go and do this when you have a little baby that depends on you, you have to be fully flipped in the brain or under some kind of MINDCONTROL. Okay, there was another thing was that they said that there was a drill. Um, it wasn't really a drill. It was that the people inside thought it was a drill because they'd been having drills every month. But it's weird. They do drills all the time. Okay, so one of the questions though was, how come there's no cell phone footage? Well, there was. There was footage of the people inside the party, seeing these people coming, the SWAT, thinking it was probably nothing, maybe a drill because some people were laughing. And then there's this one also. It was the guy in another wing of the building, apparently. And then there's a scene from inside the building. Now, for those of you who think that these people were just hired to play the part, seriously, I'm pretty sure that people know who works there and who doesn't, and somewhere it would come out. If all these people didn't really work there, surely it would leak out, like, hey, who are these people? They don't work there. What are they doing? I mean, it's pretty hard to control the entire public and the internet. There's always leaks. So far, though, no one has come out and said that it was anyone other than the workers, which would mean that something really happened. Because I know some of you like to go there, but I don't think it's that. Although it may have been a FF, you know what I mean? ... There was also another cell phone camera from outside, a guy who was on the street. So there's like at least 4 different sources of that. If it's the FF, well, what is the goal? I mean, your constitution in the States kind of makes it impossible for the GOV' to take away your GUNS, just like that. They can try to control it, restrict, ban certain types, repo them or whatever, make you turn them in, but they can't just come out and say you can't have them anymore unless they shred the thing that was once called just a piece of paper, which isn't really just a piece of paper. I think it's because of that piece of paper that they can't just go and do that. This doesn't make a good argument for GUNCONTROL anyway, because if those people inside had GUNS, probably none of this would have happened. So who's benefiting from it? Because they do FF to get in a WAR, but they just don't do it for no reason. I'm trying to find like a really specific, good, valid reason to do this. I think it's possible that ISIS will also create, MINDCONTROL victims to go and do these kind of things. Or maybe someone on the other side will create them and then blame it on ISIS to keep the WAR on TERR ... going. I think it might have something to do with that. Or the guy was just crazy. But I find this is really extreme. I find that hard to believe. Anyway, let me know what you think. And thanks for listening to me. I'll see you next time.